In the past 31 days, I made over $22,000 playing online poker. And I'm going to show you how I did it and how you can do it with just $100 to begin with. Now, we are going to write down starting point. Why is the font so big? There we go. Starting point. Okay. The starting point for me, right, when I made this $22,000 in the month of August was $100. Okay. Doesn't seem like a lot, but some people it might be a lot. And everyone's going to have different starting points, right? You might start at 1,000, you might start at 500, some might start at $50. But the point of the matter is that you start, okay? And where you start is going to dictate the pace at which you're going to do this process that I'm going to show you. But as long as you have a starting point, you have a chance, you have potential, and you have a future, and you can and will win if you put your mind to it. Now, with the $100, this process is going to start from the starting point of $100 because that's what I started with. Okay, the starting point is $100. And what are we going to be playing on? We're going to be playing online. The site that I use is BOVADA. It's an online casino overseas. I like it. I love the interface. I love the poker structure, the poker games, the tournaments, cash games, sit and goes, stuff like that. But if you're from anywhere else, whether you're from the UK, Asian countries, whatever, choose an online site that has sit and goes, which a majority of poker sites do. Now, the reason why I do BOVADA is because BOVADA, different from Club WPT or different poker sites, is that it offers jackpot sit and goes. And that's going to be a key point. Jackpot sit and goes, right? What I'm going to be showing you isn't going to be regular sit and goes that every poker site offers, but it's going to be jackpot sit and goes. Now, I do play on Club WPT from time to time, but Club WPT only offers sit and goes and cash games and tourneys, but they do not offer jackpot sit and goes. But this whole thing is based off of this, the base of this strategy, the base of this process is jackpot sit and goes. And BOVADA, we'll get into it right now. Now, on BOVADA, there are 6 different jackpot sit and goes. Starts from 50 cents all the way to $100. So 50, $2, $7, $20, $50, and $100. Oh. So there are 6 different jackpot sit and go buy-ins that you can do. And like I said, we're starting with $100. Now, the most simple, easiest, and the buy-in that gives us enough room to grow while being able to absorb some kind of variance is the $7 buy-in. Okay, and I'll get into more of that in a second of why we're choosing the $7 to start with. Now, the reason why, before I get into the actual jackpot sit and go, the reason why we're doing jackpot sit and goes, right? The reason why it's jackpot is because regular sit and goes, you are getting a double. Okay, so let's say you play a $10 sit and go, the price pool is going to be $20 for winning. Jackpot sit and go gives the player a little bit more of an edge, gives you a higher potential payout. Okay, so each jackpot for each buy-in, for the 50 cent all the way to 100, varies, of course, depending on the amount of buy-in. The higher the buy-in, the higher the jackpot. So $100 buy-in jackpot is probably $250,000. Now, that is like a 1% of a 1% of a 1% of a 1% chance. And if you do get that 250K jackpot and you win, congratulations. You can get off this video, and congratulations is all I can say to you, right? You don't even need to listen to me on this. But now, you don't want to bank on that, right? Because that is, again, 1% of a 1% of a 1% of a 1%. But the minimum you can get on each jackpot sit and go that you play on BOVADA is double your money. So if you play a $7 buy-in, you'll get $14. The $14 will be rewarded for you if you win first place. $100, $200, $50, etc. But what I've noticed is that every 1 in 7 games, you get a 5x. Okay, this is the key. This is the key component of jackpot sit and go. This is the essence of how we can grow our bankroll. Now, what does that mean? 1 in 7 games equal 5x. If we played a $7 one, our minimum, okay, the minimum we can win equals 2x. For example, $7 equal $14 if we win, right? But the 5x gives us $35. So what is that? That is 4x more, right? Not including our buy-in. That is a 4x more. That's basically winning the $7 buy-in 5 times. Okay, that is huge. That is astronomical. Now imagine when we, later down the road, when we scale bigger and we start playing the $100 jackpot buy-ins, that 5x means just so much more, right? Just so much more. It's just, the 5x would be $500, right? Compared to the $35, it's just astronomically more in the sense of the jackpot sitting goes. So don't bank, we are not banking on jackpot. We are not banking on the jackpots to hit, but we are trying to win the double up, right? Each game we want to win, of course, to get double of our buy-in. But when, in the 1 in 7 games, when we get that 5x, we must what? We must win. You need to win the 5x games. That is so important in growing our bankroll. That is, if you take anything away from this, right, which is, it might be obvious, it might be cliche, but you need to win, okay? Like, the strategy, the process that I'm teaching you and telling you is like fucking garbage if you don't win. If you don't know how to play good poker, you're not going to win, and you're not going to be able to grow anything from any starting point, okay? Period. Now, let's move on. Why are we starting with $7? Right? Curtis, PT Poker, you have a $100 starting point. Why not just do $100, $50, $20? Here's why. Let's say we did do the $100, okay? If we do the $100, we have one bullet. We have one bullet, and it becomes a do or die. And yes, if we do, let's say we do the $100 and we get the 5x and we win, we just, quadrupled our money and made our $100 into $500. But what if we lose, right? You always have to weigh the risk and the reward. If we lose, then we go to ground zero and we don't have a starting point, right? Let's say you start with $50. You go for the $50 jackpot scenario. One time you win, congratulations, you doubled up, or you got the 5x and you won, congratulations. But if you lose, you don't have a starting point now, right? And the goal of this is to take our starting point and to grow it and to scale it to where we're able to play the $100 jackpot scenarios and play bigger cash games and play tournaments, right? Because that's ultimately why we're working with such a small starting point to begin with. So that's why, okay? And we could do the $20. If we do the $50, we have 2 bullets. $20, 5 bullets. Now 5 bullets is feasible if you're more of a risk taker, and I think I wouldn't stop anyone from doing it. It would speed up the process, but again, as much as you can, as fast as you can go up, the same speed you can go down, okay? But $7, the $7 jackpot single binds gives us 14 bullets, okay? And with 14 bullets, we're able, hold on, give me a second. We are able to absorb some variance while giving room to grow. Okay, we're able to absorb variance while giving room to grow. Now, yes, we're not going to win every single game. Okay, we might get our money in good with pocket aces. Someone calls with 5-6 suited and hits a straight or hits a flush, and we lose. Is there anything else that we can do? No, right? Variance just played a part, but that's why we're starting with the $7 with 14 bullets, so that we're able to absorb variance and overcome variance, but at the same time, give ourselves some room to kind of scale, right? Through our skill edge, right? If you don't have a skill edge, this is pointless. Again, like I said before, you need to be good and you need to win. It doesn't matter whether you get lucky or not, whether you're good or lucky or whatever, you need to win. If you don't win, this is pointless. Okay, so that's why we're starting with $7. Now, when are we going to move up, right? Because the point of this is that we're going to go from $7, $20, $50, $100. And after $100, I'll get to that when I get to that. Now, when do we go to the $20 buy? Once we get to $100, $200. Once we hit $200, we will move up the buy-in. Okay, so now once we hit $200, we're now gonna go from $7 to $20. Now, how many bullets will we have then, right? 220 divided by 20, we're gonna have 10 bullets. 10 bullets. Okay. Now, again, 10 bullets gives us some, 10 bullets gives us some room to absorb some variance while also giving us room to scale. And again, now this is where the $20 hits the 5x and we get $100. That's big. Now the 5x start to mean a little bit more. Those 5x games you need to start locking the fuck in more and more and more as the stakes of the buy-in goes up and up and up, right? So work on that from the beginning with the $7 buy-in. Now, if you're not starting with the $100 starting point and you start with $50, then do the same process that I'm saying, but now lower the buy-in. Start from 50 cents, start from $2. That's fine, right? It's up to you. You can build it up. It might take a little bit more time, but that's fine. No one's rushing you. You're not in a rush. You're not racing against anybody. Okay? If anything, you're racing against your own ego. Now, after that, it's gonna be the same thing. Once you get to 10 bullets, right? I think for me, the ideal was 10 bullets. Okay? 10 bullets. Keep this in mind. 10 bullets is the key. So once you get to 10 bullets for the $50, how much would that be? You need to go to 500, right? $500 equals 10 bullets for $50 jackpot single. Now, when are we going to move up from $50 to $100? You guessed it, once we get to $1,000. Now, why is it when we get to $1,000? Because once we get to $1,000, right? Once we get to $1,000, 10 bullets equal $1,000. Now, you made it to the $100 buy-in. You have $1,000 in your bankroll. You have 10 bullets. After you get to the stage, once you get to the stage, you are going to keep playing the $100 bullets. This is where it all matters. You're going to keep playing the $100 bullets until you get to 5K. Okay? Once you get to this stage, you're going to keep playing. You're going to keep playing until you get to $5,000. Now, once you get to this point, congratulations, you just built yourself a bankroll from $100. This is the key. Now, pat yourself on the back because you just went from $100 to $5,000. Whether it took you a week, whether it took you a month, it doesn't matter. You're not racing against anybody. You're not even racing yourself. Okay, so relax. Take some time. Just realize what you just did. Realize what we just did. We just 50x our starting point. Okay? 50x our starting point playing online poker. That is not an achievement that should just be looked at lightly. Okay? Some people don't make $5,000 a month. You just made that playing online poker. Okay? Congratulations, you made it to this point. Now, how are we going to get this into the 10K, 20K range? This is where now we're at the point where the jackpot sitting goes. Yes, you can grind that. If you feel that your edge in there is higher than cash games or tournaments, go ahead and do that. If you think cash game, go ahead and do that. Tournaments, go ahead and do that. But for me personally, what I did was with this 5K, I played on BOVADA. The Sundays are the biggest tournaments. Sunday has the 75K guaranteed and the 200K guaranteed. And then there is a high roller for 100K guaranteed. Okay, these are all guaranteed prize pools on Sunday. This is every Sunday. Every Sunday real quick. Okay. Every Sunday. Every Sunday, these are the 3 biggest tournaments that are running. Now, a daily tournament that runs every single day is the $35,000 every day. I'll just say daily. A daily tournament that runs that I think is the biggest guaranteed prize pool for each day besides the Sunday ones is the $35,000. What is wrong with this? No. There you go. Is the $35,000 guaranteed. Now, what I did with my $5,000 once I got to that point after playing the jackpot sit and goes is that I grinded these tournaments. Okay, the daily one, I did the 35K tournament every single day. Every single day. And about 40% of the time, 35% of the time, I cashed. Whether I min cashed, whether I had a deep run, top 20, whatever, I cashed. Okay? Again, this whole thing is pointless. Whatever you do, if you don't win, whether you do cash games, if you don't win, it doesn't matter. Tournaments, it doesn't matter. Jackpot sit and goes, it doesn't matter. You need to win. That is the main thing, to win. And you don't need me to tell you that. You just need to win. Now, I grinded all these tournaments. Okay. Sometimes not the 100K one, because the 100K, the buy-in, let me write this down to you. Buy-in. The buy-in for the 75 was 109. The buy-in for the 200 is 162. And the buy-in for the high roller one is $300. So I don't think I played the high roller a lot. But I definitely did play the 75K and the 200K. And the 35K every day. And every Sunday I played the 75K and the 200K guarantee. This is where you turn your 5K into that 5 figures, into those 5 figures, whether it's the 10K, whether it's 10K, 20K, 30K, 4K. If I ever won the 200K, which I have not yet, that would be around 40K payout. 75K is about a 13K payout. 100K high roller one, you get about 15K payout. And the daily one is upwards of 6K. Okay, so the $22,000 that I made within the month was from cashing these. And if you cash these, yes, if you've been cash, it might not be a lot, it might be just double your buy-in, but imagine if you do it consistently. And I cashed pretty big on the 35K one. I've cashed pretty big on the 200K one and the 75K one. I have not yet cashed on the high rollers, but that is next on the to-do list. But after cashing, right, after consistent cashing, and after some big scores, of course, to have the deep runs too, you do need to be a bit lucky. Of course, that's tournament poker, right? Variance plays a very high role in tournament poker. Okay, but consistently cashing. Okay, so consistently cashing, scoring big, and running deep consistently. This is all consistent. More than you lose, you need to win. This 5K turns into over 5 figures, right? Which in 1 month, I went from $100 to $22,000. Okay, this is the process. It's simple, right? But it's not that easy. Sometimes it's gonna feel very variance heavy, but that skill edge over time, play where your edge is most prominent, whether it's cash games, tournaments, jackpot, sit and goes, heads up play, whatever. Play where your skill edge is prominent, where variance is able to spread out and your skill edge gives you the winning rate, the profitability over time. Now, if you're interested in playing on the same platform that I do, which is BOVADA, and to play those jackpot, sit and goes, and to play those tournaments that I do, or we might even be able to play a tournament together, I'll put a link down in my video, or you're going to enter my email in the referral email section when you're signing up on BOVADA. Okay, and you're going to get 100% bonus match on your deposit. Okay, or just go sign up through my link in description. This is how you're gonna make $20,000 playing online poker in a month or even 2 months. Doesn't matter. You're not in a rush. You're not in a race. You're only racing against your own ego if you consider it a race. Win. You must win. Now the strategies, poker strategies, stuff like that, I'll make more videos on how to actually implement, optimal player, whatever, exploiting on online, especially because online is way different from live poker because of all the tells that aren't present. You're just looking at a bunch of numbers on screen. But how you can implement poker strategy, psychological strategy in online poker. I'll start to make more videos on it. And if you want to see more videos on that kind of stuff, leave a comment down below. Make sure you guys like, comment, whatever. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is how you turn $100 into $20,000 playing online poker.